It starts here with the president of the California labor unions there, Lorena Gonzalez. And she's speaking about the situations that are happening in California and who maybe we should blame instead of migrants and homeless people.
If you care about your future, if you care about your kids' future, you have to recognize this. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what part of the state you live in. I don't care where you came from. You have more in common with an undocumented farm worker than you did with the billionaires who are causing this problem in the first place.
Isn't it weird how just, one curse word will get enough people to be jazzed up? It's the same truth that people have been telling. It's the same truth that actual progressives have been saying for years. Why are we piggybacking on people who are stealing our money and then demonizing the folks who are the biggest victims of these thefts? So Lorena Gonzalez was pointing that out, and all she had to say was one word, and look, it's fired up. Look, Gavin Newsom was behind her too. How dare the governor stand behind this labor president, talk so bad about billionaires who are stealing from us? That sometimes is some of the response. It came from one California state, is he a state senator? State representative. His name is Carl DeMaio. So that moment was brought up by a local news reporter, reposted and pointed out. And he said, and he quoted her. So since that news guy quoted her is saying what it is that she said about billionaires, Carl DeMaio, Republican, has to do his work. And he said, California media, he's speaking to them. After the vulgar behavior today at a live event, you have a duty to not cover these rallies if Gonzalez is involved. You have a duty to your viewers and the FCC licenses to keep. Bro, calm your dumb ass down. You have a duty to not play these filthy words because it's so vulgar, because this MAGA party doesn't do anything vulgar, does not participate in vulgarity at all, doesn't protect a child molester who was a part of a sex trafficking ring who did dirty things to children and has no apologies for it and is actually covering it up. How dare you have this vulgar behavior? It's so disgusting. I can't believe they would do such a thing. This is ridiculous. So, Governor Gavin Newsom's press office, that's another page over there on X, decided to let Representative Carl DeMaio reminded him of who he is with this vulgarity. They reposted this story about him from 2013. That's him. It says potential successor for San Diego's disgraced mayor. A disgraced mayor already has alleged history of openly masturbating in restrooms. How dare... This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. They're so depraved. They have so much dirt and skeletons in their closet. And they're so hypocritical. It's really easy. Just show everyone who they are when they're trying to act like they're these very innocent, virgin-eared people who never heard the word. That's all she said. And he's like, how dare you have an obligation to not cover these, because his objective is to have these press conferences and these discussions not covered. If they're not covered, more people won't know about the things that he wants to continue to support. Just call them out. They're so bad at this. They're already the bad guys. Just call them. That's been the biggest problem with the Democratic Party. They won't fight back against these losers. We have to wait for them to beat themselves up, which they kind of do, but then people still follow along anyway. But still, going back to this guy's depravity, there's details from the article. I looked it up to make sure it was real. And guess what? It was real. Here's some details. That nasty motherfucker. When Carl DeMaio, one of the leading Republican candidates to replace alleged serial harasser Filner, that's the guy down in San Diego he was looking to replace. He's already a sexual harasser, so this guy wants to replace him. So when he wanted to replace him in the city council, he would allegedly leave the dice during meetings to masturbate in a men's room, former city council president Ben Huiso said. I mean, I guess the saving grace is considering this crowd that likes to talk about how men go in women's restrooms, they're looking to assault people, which never happens. When they say that, at least this guy went into the men's restroom to go and, have a good time with himself. There's one more piece of information from this article. Huiso, now a Democratic state senator, said he witnessed DeMaio in the act twice, but others suspect suspect his inappropriate activity was more frequent. The politician said he walked into the restroom sometime in 2009 and saw his colleague standing at the urinal with his pants around his ankles. DeMaio was masturbating, Hoyso told the website. He jumped, caught by surprise. He jumped to the sink, saying, I'm sorry, about 6 times. Then washed his hands and darted out. Well, at least he washed his hands. There's more saving grace, I guess. Marty Emerald, a city councilwoman, confirmed the account, saying that she saw Hoyso right after the alleged incident. She said Ben was in a state of shock, face red, eyes bulging. I said, "You look like you just saw the devil." And he said, DeMaio is masturbating in the middle of the room, but he doesn't want that bad word broadcast over the FCC airwaves because it's too filthy, it's dirty. Except your filthy ass hands. Maybe you should have washed them twice. Did you make sure not just your palms, make sure you get the backs of your hands and go like a little bit up your wrists a little bit too, you nasty ass. These are the people that we're allowing to win. Stupid people in the White House that don't know what they're doing, not up for down. Water carriers that are minions wearing overalls and like yellow faces, like this guy. We're letting them continue to just flaunt their disgusting nature in our faces and act like they're the moral ones. And for maybe some of you ladies who haven't been in men's restrooms, some of these urinals. There's like, there's like there's unwritten rules of men's urinals. First of all, I'm sure all guys know this, but sometimes urinals don't have dividers. They're just urinal, and you're standing right next to this other guy, and your feet can't even touch. And there's urinal, however many may be in there. Sometimes they have just a 1-bar divider. It's maybe like half of your height, so at least there's a little bit of privacy. But this some bitch's pants were around his ankles. Nasty ass. Filthy mother. Go and whatever. Save it for home.